to the banging misses and videos. While I'm with my freak like we up in the freak shows. Hit you with this shit, make you feel it all in your toes. Hot shh, got all my people in red clothes. Telling my metaphors when I formulate my flows. If you don't know, you're messing with lyrical player pros like that. You wanna party with me?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Walking This Way's Impact Wars podcast. I am your host, Furman Jackson Jr. We broadcast once again here in the DFW, that's Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. For everybody who knows what that means, I'm very honored and very excited to have Kelli back on here again. She was on here, matter of fact, the first of the year, 2024, with 3-in-1 service. Big shout out 3-in-1 services with Ms. Anderson and the rest of the group and those extraordinary interviews who are doing extraordinary things in the DFW. So I invited Kelli to come back on here again. She's doing the very extraordinary things herself and to really talk about her business. She did time, also she's a veteran as well. So she did time in the military, then transition on to entrepreneurship. And we know here on the podcast, we love having people come on who talk about business world, be entrepreneurs, fulfilling their life purposes. There are things they're doing they feel good about themselves and really making a difference everywhere they go. And so I'm very excited once again. So Kelli, thank you. Take your time out your productive schedule. I know you're doing a lot of great things right now, making an impact, of course, with your family, people come in contact with. So go ahead and introduce yourself here to the audience here on Walking This Way Impact Voice podcast.
Thank you, Furman. So thank you so much for having me on this evening. It's a pleasure to be on again with your audience. So I'm Kelli Mumphrey. I'm the founder and CEO of Milk Space LLC, and I provide a mobile lactation space for outdoor events. So anyone in the DFW area that's having an outdoor event, contact me. And I'm also a grant consultant, meaning I provide grant services consisting of grant research, grant writing, and also informational briefs about grants. I provide those services well with Reach Grants Consulting LLC. So if you, Furman, or your audience, they need grant consulting servicing, preparing grant proposals, hit me up also. So that's it in a nutshell. But more importantly, I'm a child of God. I'm a wife. I'm a mother of 2 little girls, Zoe and Zyla. And I'm really, like you said, just trying to live out my purpose every day. I'm still trying to figure it out. And so the 2 things that I commonly say, Furman, is that I don't know everything, but I know enough to share. And so I think I should be of service no matter what I'm doing in my life. So it's a roller coaster. That's the second thing I say, life is a roller coaster. I'm just holding on tight for the ride through the highs and lows. And that's just life. I'm in the land of the living. I'm living my life and making an impact while I'm doing it as best as I can.
Hey, and that's what it's all about, doing the best that you can, and you're striving every day, and you're about making progress every day. You're not sitting around, you're not being complacent, not having that victim mentality, why me, why this, why that. You're not the reason I'm not successful, but getting up and making things happen. And like I said, you have a very extraordinary background. You did time in the military, you are a vet. Congratulations on that. How did it all come about entering the military? You come from a military family. Was you the first one in your family? How did it all come about?
So actually, my mother, she's a retired Army officer. And so just growing up, if you can imagine, before I was in 11th grade, I've been to 11 schools. So I'm a military brat, but I never thought of myself, going into the military. So I actually went to college first. I'm a graduate of Virginia State University. That's my HBCU. And then I think it was like my last year in college. I needed to boost my grades a little bit. So I was like, okay, I'll just do Army ROTC, a leadership course. And I didn't think I was going to enter the military after college. So I received my degree in 2008, and never did I think that I'm going to go to the military. But if you can remember, back in 2008, back in that time, I'm from the East Coast. I was living in Virginia. After I graduated from college in Virginia, I moved back to Maryland, in Prince George's County, Maryland, in my mother's house, just trying to get a job. But in 2008, there was a hiring freeze with the government. And so during that time, it's like a recession, just a lot going on with the government. No one was really hiring. And so I did my best to just find jobs. But ultimately, the number one thing that was left was entering into the military. And it was really done, I would say, kind of like out of haste. I didn't have a clear plan or vision back then. I just knew that I couldn't, remain in my mother's house and work
Right.
these jobs. I needed to do something, of purpose. So I actually enlisted in the Navy and not became an officer, but I did enlist in the Navy. And that's how I entered the Navy. It wasn't anything planned at all. But my mother, she is a retired Army officer. But I just went to the Navy out of last resort. I need to do something. And that really helped me set a foundation moving forward, because back then I didn't have any purpose. I think I was still young-minded, even after college, not having a sense of purpose and understanding, my purpose in the world. But the
Mm-hmm.
military really helped me set a foundation and get disciplined mentally, being of service. And then beyond that, outside the military, how to continue that service on in a different capacity.
Yeah, and we know that I heard this too, that the military teaches you structure, teaches you discipline, and that's something you can incorporate and apply in your life, apply in your toolbox, of course. So, and so all that experience, so you that experience to help you with your entrepreneurship, does it play a background in your role as being an entrepreneur and a business owner?
Yeah, it does. So in the Navy, I was a master at arms, military police officer. So with that, our thing was, look, everybody's just trying to make it home. I carried a M9 weapon every day. And so our goal was just to work as a team, make it home, and see the mission from the beginning to the end, right? And so
Right.
that's how I look at entrepreneurship, especially as relates to grant writing. Sometimes it's just a lot to do, a lot of pieces to put together. There's a lot of collaboration involved. But for me, I'm gonna see it through to the end, down to the last minute. So with me, I'm very structured when I do assist with grant proposals. I've actually had a client tell me before, "Oh, I didn't know you was in the military, but that explains a lot." So not in a bad way, but it's the mission with everything, even with entrepreneurship. See it through to the end, even if there's some um, stagnant points, what have you, but ultimately it's still a mission. And I look at it as a kind of like a different mission from the military. It's the God-given mission for me now outside of military, like the things that I put my mind to and my heart to. God placed that in my mind and my heart. Only me, only Kelly. And it's up to me to execute the mission. And that's what keeps me up at night. It's like, I got to execute this. God didn't give it to me just not to do it, right? And so,
Right.
like I said, it's a roller coaster up and down. But for me, the military has helped me with entrepreneurship, understanding like, hey, this is a new mission, Kelly, specifically for you to execute. And that's what I'm going to do.
But you know what? You should keep doing, keep on and execute, make things happen. It's all about having that fire and having a good thing going, staying focused, having that tunnel vision, as they say, focus on the task at hand. Even though the distractions will try to come to steer you, but you always stay focused no matter what. Folk going to further, big shout out to Felicia Davis in the comment section. She said, hey, y'all, big shout out to her as well. Big shout out to Miss Anderson as well. Miss D, she's in the comment section. She said, hey, y'all. And she said, my two favorites. She's the best and stuff. So big shout out to her. Never want to forget the people who always tune in on a weekly basis to support. I always got knowledge, y'all, for who y'all are. Just take the time out y'all to schedule to tune in and hang out with us on this Wednesday edition of Walking This Way, the Impact Voice podcast. And you was in the military, then you made that transition.
Oh, yeah.
To be an entrepreneur. How did that all come about? From transition from the military, now you're an entrepreneur. How did that all come about?
So I'm not originally from Texas. My husband, he's from Pleasant Grove. He graduated from Skyline High School, and all his family is like in Tyler, Texas, and Pleasant Grove. And so we met in the military, and entrepreneurship was never even in my brain in the military, not once. But afterwards, the military, in 2014, we transitioned here to Dallas, Texas. We lived in Dallas for about 4 or 5 years. And, I was working for the federal government. Um, but I always felt like I could be doing a little bit more with the knowledge that I gained from the government. And then also as a breastfeeding mother during the military, and while I was working for the government outside the military, some things just started coming to me as far as how I could be an entrepreneur. And that immediate thing was breastfeeding, lactation space in outdoor areas. So as a breastfeeding mom, my little girl, she had, I forgot the term for it, but she has extra skin under her lips, up top and the
Mm-hmm.
bottom. So she had latch issues. So she needed to always be calm and no distractions. And so while we were out in Dallas public spaces, Dallas is hot. It gets hot and it gets
Yeah.
cold just at public outdoor locations. I'm like, well, I need a calm, calm place where it's comfortable to breastfeed or pump or just spend time with her to get her to latch on properly. And I realized there wasn't a space. And so I was like, okay, well, I can be this, I could be the solution. So that's how I entrepreneurship truly is. In 2018, I was like, well, I'm just going to order a tent, a pop-up canopy tent from Amazon. It was $100 for me. I'm going to order
Okay.
that tent and I'm going to service different events in Texas. And so I serviced one event. It was held by the Dallas Police Association. I think it was called the Women's Spring Fling. I can't remember the name of it, but nonetheless, I actually had a mom that used the space, but I realized like she was sweating. It was hot. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is not a good environment for her to do this because it's still hot. And so I actually released a survey because I wanted to collect some data to see, is it just me? Or are other mothers in the DFW feeling what I'm feeling as it relates to
Right.
having lactation space? So I collected the data and I'll release a survey. And I had women that I did not know complete the survey to validate the need. And the number one feature that they wanted was a climate controlled lactation space in outdoor settings beyond like the workplace, right? Public parks and outdoor events, concerts, and festivals. I said, okay, I have this data. Now I'm going to start, pitching this business, getting it out there to acquire money for the business. But I didn't want to take out any student loans or anything like that. So like, I got to pitch the business. I have to acquire funds to support the business. So as you know, Furman, COVID came in 2000, like
Right.
what was it, 2020, 2019. So the
Yeah,
next,
I remember.
yeah. So there weren't any events. I'm like, okay, well that completely stopped like my entrepreneur goals with milk space. But also in 2019, I had a few health issues, and it just kind of all worked together, right? I had two health issues where I had to have a little surgery, and I had to focus on my mental health and my physical health. And then COVID came, so I was like, you know what? Guys telling me go ahead and leave the government. I had a conversation with my husband, like, hey, COVID is here. I'm going to leave the government. Look, this is the plan. This is how we're going to, carry out this plan. And
Right.
so in 2019, I did leave my government job, but
Yeah.
I had some knowledge in my brain as relates to grants management. And I'm like, well, okay, I'll start a business as relates to grants management. I felt that I could use what I acquired through the government as it relates to grants and provide a service that extended beyond like my cubicle, just working in the office setting. And so that's where I founded Reach Grants Consulting LLC. And Reach stands for Realize Every Aspiration Can Happen. And so I always say, reach for the stars. So that's how I founded my second business, Reach Grants Consulting LLC, in 2019. So that's how I entered entrepreneurship. And there's some more to the story, but that's it in a nutshell. 2018, March 6th, 2018, I formed Milk Space LLC. And then in May of 2019, I formed Reach Grants Consulting LLC. And so that's how those two businesses were birthed.
Hey, that's what's up right there, Kelly. And also for going any further, also that's why I love having the show because you never know who you help out. Big shout out to Carr. He's in the comments section from Horizon Elevate. He said help with grant writing for new organizations. So Carr Kelly is the one to get with. Get with her on the back end, of course, and get it all set up. So you never know who needs services. So that's like how God operates. So it's always stuff happens. So get with Kelly on the back end, Carl, for more information as well. So big shout out to Carl. Great guy, great man. Love his heart, love his spirit. What else we got? Miss D, of course, in the comment section. She said that's amazing, Kelli Mumphrey. That's a great business. Milk Space LLC. Awesome stuff. So thank you, everybody. If y'all have any questions, any comments, go right ahead. Feel free. Let us know where you're watching this at. We want to do a big shout out to you as well. We are live streaming on all major platforms tonight. We're live streaming on my personal page, which is the Furman Jackson page. We're live streaming on the Walking Its Ways page. We're live streaming on LinkedIn as well, ladies and gentlemen, and also YouTube. And we're live streaming on Twitter, which is called X. So we are live streaming.
Whoa, I didn't know it was all those platforms. Nice. Okay. Nice.
You know, I'm stepping my game up. You ain't seen nothing yet. It's just on the beginning. But we are live streaming on all major platforms. Before we go any further, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do a quick commercial break, and then we're going to jump right back in our Q&A conversation.
First thing is you got to be selfish as hell. You got to be selfish. I don't give a... It's the sacrifice, but without great sacrifice and without great risk, there is no such thing as great reward. Can't have one. That math will never math. And I don't like this word, but I'm going to say it because it's true. You have to be a little maniacal with it. Maniac, right? That word isn't good in a lot of situations, but when you're pursuing your destiny, you have to be selfish. You have to be maniacal. You have to be uncompromising. And you have to move in a way when it comes to those three things, when you function completely in a way where it's an unwavering faith. Like, it don't matter how up that might look. It don't matter how much it feel like it ain't gonna work.
Delusional. Complete
delusion. You gotta believe the delusion because it's only delusional until it works. So is it really delusional? A mother only gonna call it delusion until it don't work for nobody else to see, but for the whole world to see. And then once the world see it, there's nothing delusional about it. Now your delusion becomes, oh, he was a genius. We didn't see it when he saw it. We didn't understand it when he did. We thought this mother was crazy. But he definitely always figured this thing was the thing to do, and he stuck by that.
Okay, Buster. Delusional.
Well, you know what? That's what it's all about. You know what I'm saying? People think you're crazy, but you see it. And then that's why they say, you know what? She was a genius. She knew, and she seen him. So bitch out the bus around. You know, we're doing commercial, of course. Not. But before we go any further, Miss Kelly, we got a question for you in the comment section. And I'm going to pull that up. I love the audience. We want y'all to interact. So, of course, Miss D said, tell us more about your pitching experience, Kelli Mumphrey.
Okay, Derice Anderson. So I would say, let me think about it. What year was this? I want to say it was probably after COVID. You know, like I said, Furman, like events stopped. I was stagnant on Milk Space. I was just getting started. No events was happening. So once in-person events started happening again, there was the opportunity for me to pitch my business at a local Dallas veteran-based center called the Veteran Women's Enterprise Center. It's located in Dallas, and they primarily service women veterans and spouses of veterans. And so I was like, okay, God, well, if you want me to pursue Milk Space, I'm gonna go ahead and pitch and let's see if I win. So I think it was like a 60-second pitch. It could have been 30 seconds. And so I practiced my little pitch and I won. I won the pitch. And I always say, like, I always surprise myself because the ladies that I pitched against, they were, you know, seasoned business women. And I'm just now, you know, putting it out there in the universe. but I just asked God, like, guide my mind and my mouth and let the audience be receptive to what I'm delivering. And so I did win that pitch. I think it was for $60, a $60 gift card. And I said, okay, that's confirmation enough for me. And so, mind you, what I wanted to do was upwards of $170,000 that I needed to bring my milk space vision to life. I only had a 10 at the time. And so I won that pitch competition. And so fast forward, I said, well, I need to get like fine tuned in exactly what I want to provide as a service for lactation space. So I participated in 2 programs. They're all based in Dallas for entrepreneurs. And so one of those programs, again, was through the Veteran Women's Enterprise Center located in Dallas. And it was the Next Level Business Transformation Business Accelerator program. And it just helped me, again, fine tune what I wanted to provide, right? Because initially my pitch was only maybe like 60 seconds. But participating in this business program helped me get a little more granular. And then I also participated in another business accelerator program through Impact Ventures located here in Dallas, Texas. And they really helped me get granular in my business. And so with that, I was able to pitch again. And with that pitch with the Impact Ventures, I won, I think it was like $2,500, right? So we were all in the cohort.
Okay.
Again, some of these businesses were established, already operating. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna pitch. I'm gonna pitch what I've learned and show how I can grow, what have you. And with that, I pitched another opportunity through the Veteran Women's Enterprise Center. They had a pitch competition. And with that, I was blessed with, I think, $23,000.
Wow.
So with that money, I was able to birth the mobile milk space, bring it to life. And so initially, what I had envisioned, Furman, it was $170,000 I needed, but my husband reeled me back in. He's like, okay, you need, the ultimate van and all this other stuff to get started, but really you can dial it back a little bit. This is what you have. What can you do with what you have? And so my husband really helped me out with that. And so that's how I was able to identify the trailer and create the mobile milk space. And so I do want to say, like, my experience really with pitching, honestly, comes from way back in the government sector, meaning as a I provided grants management technical assistance for nonprofits that were awarded grant money. And so just looking at documents all day and understanding what the government was looking for as far as like budgets and how to convey the services provided, that all fed into really the business side of putting it down on paper concisely and delivering that outwardly. That really helped me too with pitching. And so that's really my experience with pitching, how I came to start pitching. One, it really started with the Veteran Women's Enterprise Center winning that $60. That was my first win. And since then, like I said, in my little, what is this little thing up under here, this little slogan, I think you have it on the screen. I don't know everything, but I know enough to share. And so since then, I've been trying to just share like my pitch experiences and the insights I've gained throughout the years to other entrepreneurs. And so just providing that knowledge to up and coming entrepreneurs or seasoned entrepreneurs who have not pitched their business, how to pitch and deliver it concisely to win either funding or support with their business. Yeah,
man, it makes different. And like I said, I got some questions lined up for you too, Kels, as well. Ms. Anderson said, "Is pitching a good way to help fund your business? Would you suggest pitching?" That's the first question for you.
Is pitching a good way to fund the business?
Bad. Yeah, let me put it right there. You go.
Okay, yeah. So is pitching a good way to help fund your business? I would say yes. So writing grants. Can you hear me okay, Furman?
Yeah, I hear you loud. Yeah, I hear you loud and clear. You good.
Okay, so I would say pitching is a good way because when you think about it, sorry if you hear my dog. If you think about it, minutes, maybe 1 minute, 30 seconds, 3 minutes, 5 minutes of your life, really of your time to make a difference in your business, right? So I would say pitching for me, that's a great way to secure funding for your business because it's immediate, right? It's only a short time that you have to deliver and speak about your business and what you aspire to achieve with your business. So I really would say it is an excellent way. It's just making sure you hit those key points, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes it may just, like I said, in 30 seconds, 1 minute, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. But once you have the foundation of pitching, you can condense it or expand it as needed, as long as you touch those key points. And then the second question, what is the highest amount you ever won pitching your business? So that was in one pitching competition. I did win $23,000 in pitching my business for Milk Space, and $20,000 was for the first place. And then $3,000 was the Audience Choice Award, meaning it was set up like this, Furman, where it was online, and then the audience had an opportunity to vote, who they wanted to win the Audience Choice Award. And so I was blessed to win first place, and then also the Audience Choice Award. So in one pitch session, I did win $23,000.
Okay. You a pro at this thing, right? So gifted, you know what I'm saying? That's truly a blessing. And then got another question too for you as well. Also,
okay.
Go ahead and read it.
Why research marketing is important? Yes, because you want to validate. You truly have to validate your business service or your business product. Meaning, while you may think, "Oh, this is a great idea. This is a great business," it might just be only in your brain. And like Buster said, maybe be delusional, right? Still, when you're in front of investors who are going to essentially give you money, invest in you, you should be able to provide them some information. You want to educate them. You don't want to provide fluff. You want to provide actual data that you have obtained through research, meaning if you're just local to the DFW area, you need to garner information from the DFW area that speaks to, one, the problem that your business solution is addressing, the need that your business solution or your product is addressing, and just truly show how you can validate that and grow that business in that specific industry. And again, it's truly important because, again, investors are essentially giving you money, free money,
Right.
oftentimes without any restrictions, to meet a specific need that you are saying needs to be met within your business. So it's very important you do the homework. It's actually one of the most important parts when you are pitching, because investors want to see that you're important, that you have researched business, and you know how they say stand on business. You actually need to business and research to show like, hey, this is a viable business. I've done my due diligence. I've done the research. And here it is. It's essentially you're educating your audience about your business and how you can add value with your business.
Yeah, that's true. And I'm glad you were on here tonight. And big shout out to Maria. I had coffee with her today. She's also on. So big shout out to Maria in the comments. And she said, that's great. Congratulations. So everybody's tuning in as well. So who else we got? Of course, Miss D said, of course, you're amazing. Congratulations on your wins. I got another question. I'm going to let you read this too. So go ahead, Kelly. Go on and read it.
Oh, how do you get over being nervous? Oh, I'm always nervous. I'm always nervous, like nervous. So naturally, people don't know I am an introvert, right? Like I am an introvert. I know that about myself. I accept that about myself. I'm always sweating, right? Like I'm always nervous. I get over it. I just have a simple conversation with God. All I say is like, God, please guide my tongue and guide my mind and let the audience be receptive. That's all I can do. And that's all I can do, because essentially I'm always nervous, but I try to just work through the nerves. I know the audience, they're not essentially judging me. It's only in my brain, right?
Right. That's it. That's it.
Shine. I just need to step up and shine for this moment in time. That could potentially have a great impact on my life. You never know who's in the audience. So
Exactly.
I look at it as it's just a moment in time of my entire life. I need to use this time and be intentional, just show up and give it all I got. And if you messed up, only you know if you messed up, right? So just continue to just really be yourself. And truly, like I said, from what works for me is I just ask God, because I am from the East Coast, coming to Texas, I gotta slow it down a little bit. So I just ask God to guide my tongue and guide my mind and let the audience be receptive. And I just try to deliver on that and just be myself and hope to deliver. That's how I get over my being nervous and just knowing that this little bit of time could really have an impact on all the work and all the preparation that I've done. So it's important that when you get up and speak and deliver, you make sure it's received.
That's it. And then you got another question too. Can you go ahead and read that one?
What is the best advice you can give a beginner who wants to pitch? So the best advice is you only are going to get out what you put in. I just want to just encourage, any entrepreneur who, wants to pitch, you really have to do your homework. You have to be prepared and confident when you get up and be prepared to speak. And of course, you want to be yourself. Okay. But more importantly, you want to engage the audience. You want them to get excited about your business, just like you are excited. And so
Right.
I often tell folks that everybody's going to get up and talk about the main points in pitching, right? But you want to go in there and immediately engage with the audience. You want to immediately have a connection with them. You want them immediately like sit up and listen, sit down, feel some type of emotion. So I would just encourage anyone who has not pitched, working on a pitch, thinking about pitching, you just get up there, be yourself. Make sure you are competent and confident in what you're speaking about. And then also, you don't want to be so robotic unless it's in that kind of environment. But typically, you want to know your audience. And so that's what I always try to gauge, who's going to be in the audience, who's going to be the judging panel, who's going to be the investor. So I try to always know like who's in the audience. And I actually develop a pitch based on who's the audience. So just an example, for the military pitches where it's typically a military community, I get loud and get excited. I military terms and have a call and response. I want them to engage with me.
As that.
Yeah, so you want to have a connection with the audience. More importantly, you want to make it fun and memorable. Most things are received and retained if it's fun and memorable, and if the audience had some type of interaction with you while you were pitching. And always use phrases to have them remember your business. So for instance, my phrase for Milk Space is Milk Space, her space, no matter her location. And then for Reach Grants Consulting is realize every aspiration can happen, reach for the stars. And so that's the advice I would give.
Let's see, you got another question too, Kelsey, also.
Do you have any mentors or people you can count on to help you in business? I always have like a military community, like I can call and just ask advice. But I would say someone that I know I can always count on by email, phone call, what have you, is VR Small, the Veteran Women's Enterprise Center, and then also Impact Ventures, the IV team in Dallas. They're also excellent in providing immediate engagement and trying to address any concerns I have as relates to business. As a mentor, like I have like weekly sessions. I don't have a mentor yet. I don't. But then also my husband. So my husband, just to give you some insight, my husband is actually the he's a thinker, that's
Okay.
what attracted me to my husband. He's always a forward thinker. And so originally my business was going to be named Milk Wheels. And he's like, what about milk space? I'm like, milk space? I'm like, okay, that's it. But he always reels me back in, because I'm up late, trying to figure things out. But my husband, he actually plays a big part in helping me gather my thoughts, stay focused, and giving myself grace. But I do not have a mentor, and I would like a mentor, but I don't have a steady mentor just yet. But like I know I can call on certain organizations here in Dallas, and then also my husband knows when to step in and get me together.
And we got another question too, Kels. Also, you read that one.
What are some absolute no's to do in pitching? I would say, and this may just be me. It's a good question, Doris. This may be just me, but if you're pitching, you never want to say, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't.
Right.
You're there to educate them. You're there to inform. You're there to engage. No, we don't. Even though you may assume the audience knows what you mean or know you say, you don't want to make any assumptions about the audience. Again, you want to do a little research before you actually come up there. So never make any assumptions about the audience. Be informed about the audience. And another thing is never come unprepared. I would say it's kind of like, even though you have your slides that you're speaking to, you don't want to put too much on your slide where the audience has to read. Your pitch, actually, you should have it remembered. You should already have your content in your brain memorized, because again, it may be timed. You want to make sure that you focus on the key points. And if you're cut for time, if the technology is not working, you already have it up here. So that's what I would say a no is: not being prepared, not remembering your content. You want to make sure no matter what happens, you can still deliver your pitch. If technology isn't working or anything, you want to remember. Do not go up there and not know exactly what you're going to say. So I would say that is a big no, because anything could happen. They may cut the time. Technology may give some problems. But that's the biggest thing, is do not go up there unprepared and not knowing exactly what you're going to speak about.
Oh, most definitely. Hey, before going any further, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take another quick commercial break. The name of the episode is called Always on the Go. So if you're always on the go, let us know you're always on the go. Man, I got that from one of your posts. That's where it came from. So always on the go. So we're going to be right back after this commercial break.
I originally visited Dress for Success in 2012. I was laid off. I had an interview coming up. My child care provider referred me to Dress for Success, and when she told me about the program and how much it was set up for women, it was a no-brainer. I felt crisp because I knew the information, I knew what I bring to the table, but I didn't have a complete look. There was an opportunity for me to go and get suited, and when I put that suit on, it gave me the confidence and everything that I needed to really move forward. Everything within that suit was sleek, it was polished, and it meant business. At that next interview, I was offered the position because of that suit. I no longer have that suit because I paid it forward. Now another woman gets to experience exactly what I felt through the power of that suit. People may not understand your journey, but your journey is yours, and as you stay the course, Dress for Success provides lifelong resources. Dress for Success really changed the trajectory for my family. We've been thriving and living out loud ever since, and the journey never stopped. I'm still connected to Dress for Success today. Things go good when you expect things to go good.
Hey, what's up, everybody? We're back here on the Walking This Way Impact Boys podcast, and I'm going to throw a little known fact out there. That's actually what my cousin on that commercial, and so I just want to let everybody know that. So that was my cousin, of course. Big shout out to Keisha. She's doing great things in St. Louis and Missouri area with her conferences. She's an author. She do a lot of engagement and things like that. So I love her. Big shout out to her. And I seen a commercial say, you know what, I'd like to put this commercial on my show. I said, go ahead. So that's what that came about. So I just want to let everybody know. So we're back here on the Walking This Way Impact World podcast. This is our Wednesday night edition. And I know we got some more questions for you as well, Kels, in the comment section. They are coming. So I got another question for you. I'm going to let you go ahead and read it. Won't mean anything. I'm still going to pull this one up right here. Okay, you can read that one.
Okay. What is some important tips you can give to an organization or business in the early stages regarding grant writing? So it's a great question, Doris. So I actually prepared a course on this, grant writing 101. So if you're an organization or a business just now getting around to grant writing, it may seem daunting. It's just a lot. Just remember, grant writing is like a puzzle. There's many pieces to the puzzle, but once it comes together, it's together and it's the great picture. But the immediate thing I would just encourage organization or business to focus on, while you have all these ideas, things you have identified in your brain that you need funding for, you need to be very concise. One, what is your business purpose? What is your grants? What is your nonprofit's purpose? And then write those out in maybe one or two sentences, making sure you use keywords that would help you search for grants, okay? Whether it's Google or you use Grant Watch or whatever database you're using, you want to narrow it down to keywords that align with your purpose and then your needed funds for a grant. Because there's so many grants out there, but you have to narrow it down before you even begin to do your grant research. And then two, once you identify a grant, hey, looks like a grant, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Don't do that. I would strongly encourage that one, you immediately read the purpose of the grant. You immediately read the eligibility requirements of the grant. You immediately read any reporting requirements that may be required of the grant, because if you don't read those things beforehand and you just get started writing, grant writing sometimes be 4 hours, 5 days. It could be, a long time. But if you have not done your due diligence to seeing what the prerequisites are to even be eligible to apply, and then let's just say if you were blessed with the grant, the requirements post award, you've wasted your time. You've wasted your time. So it's very important as the new, or if you're an organization, nonprofit, or a business, before you even apply for a grant, you want to make sure you have identified the purpose of your organization, your business. You have identified costs that you need to be supported in your business or your organization. When I say identify, I mean you have prepared an Excel sheet with each line item. You have identified the cost, meaning in the Excel sheet, you have the name, you also have the cost of it, and then you also identify the quantity of it. And then if you want to be a forward thinker, project out to the future exactly how is that going to increase over time. And then typically grant applications, they always ask, how was this going to impact the program, right? So you don't want to just identify random. Whatever you are applying for, whatever grant you are applying for, again, remember what I said, make sure it aligns with the grantors, meaning who's awarding the money. Make sure it aligns with their purpose. Your grant expenses align with their purpose. And when you're thinking about those funds, think about how it's going to impact the purpose that you're executing. And sometimes they might not ask for all that, but having that already identified, that makes grant writing a little bit easier, putting the puzzles together a little bit easier once you have identified the true purpose of your business or your organization, and you identify those costs, how it's going to be implemented inside your program, your nonprofit or your business. So that's why I would encourage, before you even get started, make sure you do those things. Once you've identified a grant, read it from the front to the end. I don't care if it's 85 pages. I'm going to read that thing from the front to the back, because it's critical information in there. And something that I'll always do is, whether it's, a grant, um, a big federal grant, or just something that is on a website, I'll always do Control F.
Mhm.
And I type in the word must. Anything that has must, you need to take note of it. Anything that has required, when you hit Control F, take note of it. If it says provide, take note of it. If it says suggest, take note of it. So that's what really helps me out when I'm writing grants too. I do a quick Control F and try to figure out what I must address, what I should provide, what is recommended, what is required. So those things are really good also when you're reading just grant announcements. So those are my tips. Should they
I like
stop
that.
one?
That's the next question.
Oh, one no. Should they stop after one no? No. No, it's a numbers game, and I'm going through this myself actually. So never stop after no, because it is a learning process. Because you have, it's trial and error. It is and like I said, even though I feel that I'm experienced in grant writing and pitching, I have a lot of no's. And just to provide you some transparency, even with my grant clients, I only have a 50% success rate. So you're going to get no's, no matter how well prepared your grant proposal is. Do not stop at the first no, because it's only building the foundation to submit that final proposal that is accepted. And I just want to give you some context. So for my business, Milk Space, I prepared a proposal maybe like two years ago, that I just kept presenting out there. I just kept presenting out there. No's, all throughout the 2 years. And finally, there was receptiveness of this proposal that I spent time to prepare, meaning I provided research incorporated into the proposal, embedding links, engaging the reader, ensure that they are informed on how my business is making an impact. So don't stop after the first no, after the fifth no, after the 50th no. Again, I just led with, God has blessed you with a vision, only you, for your business or your nonprofit. If you want to sleep on it, go ahead and sleep on it. But if you want to execute the vision, you have to hold on tight. Like I'm speaking to myself. You have to hold on tight for the roller coaster ride. It's going to be lows and highs. Just hold on tight. Like Buster said, you may seem delusional, whatever, but you got to see that thing through. So don't stop, even after the 100th no. Don't stop.
That's it. And you got another question too in the comment section.
Is a Gmail okay to have when asking for grants, like in Gmail account? Yes, it's okay. It's okay. You got to start somewhere. Like I started with a Gmail account, Outlook account, and even federal grants that I've assisted clients with, they have a Gmail account. Unless in the funding opportunity announcement, or less in the grant announcement where they say, we strongly prefer, we recommend, or applicants must have a .org or what have you, then you may not want to have that. But typically, in my experience, all they're asking, if you're applying for a grant, they will tell you what are the eligibility requirements. You want to make sure you adhere to that. And if it says, I've never seen it, but if it says applicants should not have a Gmail account, well, you might need to create a different type of account. But typically, if you follow the guidelines in the application, in the grant announcement, you should be okay. So just make sure you adhere to the requirements, eligibility requirements, and then also when you're preparing the proposal, follow the checklist, follow the narrative criteria. You want to make sure you hit every one of them. All the pieces to the puzzle have to get connected, because oftentimes, majority of times, grant applications are based on a point system. There's going to be a review panel that looks at your grant application. They're going to go down. I've done this in my federal government position. You're going down the criteria and you're reading they're reading your application line by line, making sure you address the application criteria. If you have not, one, met the eligibility requirement, immediate screen out factor. Two, the evaluation criteria, they're going to dock points if you have not addressed it. So I hope that answers the question. Yes.
Okay, then we got another question too as well. And let's read that one.
Okay. So the first question I think was, is partnership good and grant right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would say it depends on the actual business owner or the nonprofit. If you think that you can only do so much, right, in your business or your nonprofit. And so if you feel that you need to collaborate, you want to make sure that you build them into your grant, meaning you have a MOU between yourself, you have an MOU between the nonprofit, the business, whomever, signed and dated, up to date, explaining what the expectations and deliverables are with your partners and how they are contributing to the application. Meaning, are they providing funding? Are they providing in-kind services? You need to have that explained clearly in your MOUs or your letters of commitment. Okay. And then typically a lot of federal grants, they may require certain partners. Like if you're in workforce development, they may state, you may have a MOU requirement with the local workforce board or a one-stop, what have you. But if it says must a required partnership, address it. If they say you need certain documentation to submit it. Again, it's just based on one, what you need, and then two, if it's required to submit a grant application, address it and provide supporting documentation. And then Doris said, where do you find these grants? So typically, I do a lot of Google search. Google search. There's another database, Grant Watch, Grant Station, but a lot of high dollar discretionary grants, competitive grants, meaning you're competing for these grants based on your eligibility. Those are on grants.gov. But again, you can find grants at the state level, the local level, Google search. But before you even type into Google what kind of grant you're looking for, be clear on understanding what your purpose is, what you are connected to. So for instance, if I'm going to type a grant search for myself, I would type in Black-owned women grant or women-focused grant or grants for veterans, grants for veteran women, grants for spouses of veterans. You want to figure out how you individually identify with certain grants or with your business professionally or your organization. So if you're a community development organization, you would type community development grants based in Texas or Texas grants. So you make a list before you even do your grant search, okay? There's any way you can do it, but there are databases that house grants, Grant Watch, Grant Station, grants.gov. Those are my go-to. But Google, you'll be surprised. Hello Alice is a really great resource. And I also do that as part of my consulting services. I just released a list of grants, 20 grants that are currently open now and coming up, where I've already identified, who's eligible, the amount, the requirements. And so I've done like a little research myself, and it's out there for purchase. I think I have that $20 to purchase because I've already done the work, right? $2 grant. So, but nonetheless, you would just have to be intentional before you even start searching when you do your Google search, or you could go to grants.gov if you're looking for a federal grant.
Yeah, that's what's up. We got another question too in the comment section.
How can a small organization be competitive with a larger organization like Salvation Army and YMCA? That is a good question. It's really, in my experience as a grant consultant, and I'll just put it out there, I always felt like these larger organizations there should be some type of legislation in place, some type of clause in place. If you're a large corporation, if you receive consecutive grants, in order to receive another grant, you have to build in another grassroots organization into your grant application that provide services, and you're showing them how to acquire the grant, or they're a subrecipient of this big grant. So next time this opportunity comes around, this smaller organization knows how to apply. They know how to operate this grant. And so just to answer Doree's question, it's really hard. Honestly, it's really hard to be competitive with these larger organizations. But what I can encourage you to do is show how you are impacting a certain zip code with services in a certain zip code. In this area, you need to have done your homework. You need to identify, one, what these large organizations have focused on in the past years, what they have provided services, and while they are making a great impact in the community, you need to be able to differentiate yourself and show how you can either enhance the impact, or you're offering a new or different service that has not been tapped in this specific zip code, and show the need for that. So that's what I can encourage you to do, is just really try to make yourself competitive and try to provide a newer service or an enhanced service, and narrow it down to a zip code, and truly pull out the information as it relates to that specific zip code.
Man, that's what's up. What else we got? Let me see. I think Miss Jones in the comment section. She's from out of Fort Worth, and I think she believes either a statement or a question.
Okay. Grants address all the criteria and the points that will count against us. Thanks, I forgot about those. The points, great info. Thank you. MOUs, sure. Memoranda of understanding. So a memoranda of understanding is between either one or more parties, and you have identified who the parties are, what obligations they're going to fulfill in this grant, if they are going to provide any resources, whether it's services, dollars, what have you. You have it outlined in that memoranda of understanding, or it could be a letter of support, letter of commitment. Either way, if you write a grant and say, we have these partners and they're going to do X, Y, Z, that's cool. But you also need to have a signed agreement in place, whether it's a partnership agreement, MOU, letter of commitment, letter of support. You have to outline it to show like, hey, we signed on the dotted line. It is clear, this expectation. We've already gauged this partner. We already gauged, and here's what's going to be provided. And they provided signed documentation agreeing that they will execute whatever services or provide whatever dollars in support of your grant application.
Man, that's awesome. Hey, what else we got? Bishop Maria, she said, you have given me, we're going to read that one.
You have given me so much great information. Thank you. God bless you. God bless you, Maria. Thank you. That's my goal, to be of service, even if it's just one. Get it out in the world, get it out in the universe. And like I said, I do not know everything, but I know enough to share. And that's why I like to do, like, put the pieces together. Like, some people don't like a whole bunch of reading, a whole bunch of writing, but I prefer reading and writing. And then when I get the pieces together, I'm like, yeah, I like it. Yeah.
Hey, that's all about having fun, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And Miss D said, you go ahead and read that one too. That's
OMG, this is so helpful, Kelli Mumphrey. Oh, thank you, Dorees. Thank you. I'm glad you find it helpful.
So much love and support. Awesome that you shared out one, of course. See. Hold on. My bad. Sorry about that. All right. Great information. Okay. Awesome stuff. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, of course. And I know you have another engagement you have to attend to, Miss Kelli, of course. So do you have any words of advice, any sounds of wisdom before you leave? Because I got a new segment that's coming on the show in a couple of seconds. So y'all don't go nowhere. We got a new segment that I implement on Walking This Way Impact Wars podcast. Tune in. Big shout out to Charlotte out of Houston, Texas. She's going to be coming up with her new segment, Financial Wisdom. So don't miss that. Before you you go, Kels, you have any words of advice, sign of wisdom you want to give here to the audience before you get ready to depart? I know you got another engagement you got to attend to.
That's cool. Just see it through to the end. No matter what it looks like, see it through to the end, even if you have to stop, revisit years later. Do not see it through to the end. You know, God gave you a vision for your business, for your nonprofit for a reason. Don't let the no be the final no. Just see it through to the end. It's a roller coaster. Hang on tight for the ride, through the highs and the lows, and give God the glory.
Hey, that's what's up. Thank you, Kels, once again for taking time when you've done the schedule. I know you got another engagement you got to attend to, and I don't want to hold you up. It's all about integrity. It's all about time and handling your business. So I appreciate you once again. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're not going nowhere yet. I got another segment that I'm implementing here on the podcast. So you don't want to miss that as well. So very excited about that. Also, I think I froze up. Did I freeze up? Did I freeze up? I think I did. I did. I'm back. Okay. So we're about to get ready to tune in to our next segment. So yeah, we do not go anywhere. And financial wisdom with Shy, of course, big shout out to you, Shy. Thank you time out your but that's the schedule, of course, on this new segment as well. But I want to share something before we get started on the finance segment. It's something that I have put together, and I want everybody to understand. Well, see what I'm saying. I am determined to achieve success and wisdom. I do not see setbacks as failures, but rather as opportunities for learning. I understand that I cannot alter my past, but I have the power to shape my current and future circumstances. It is my commitment to stay grounded as I endeavor to establish my kingdom and empire. Prioritize my health and well-being is critical. I am dedicated to nurturing and discipline in all aspects of my life. So I want to go ahead and share it with everybody. So go ahead and shout out with financial wisdom, and man, y'all get all the information I need.
Well, hello, good evening, everyone. Hello, Furman. So glad to see you. Am I on? Can you hear me clearly? Is everything okay?
Yeah, everything I can see you. See.
Okay, fantastic. Happy Wednesday. And Furman, I want to say thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity, along with your other guests, to come and just bring all of the wisdom that we have, all the information and the tools that we have to inspire our community, to encourage our community, to and engage our community and educate our community, right? Because knowledge is key. And it's so important that iron sharpens iron. So, man, Furman, you are amazing. This platform that you're building, that God is just blowing air onto, blowing life into, is absolutely blessing so many people. You don't even know, but you don't have to know. So just continue to do what you have to do. Keep your hand to the plow, because God is doing something great. And I want to say thank you for everyone who's tuning in right now live, and who will tune in soon, or who will tune in also, in the future. These are tools that we're going to be talking about on financial, on wisdom, financial wisdom, because it's important that, guys, in order for us to go to the next level, we have to make sure that, number one, we are wise with the things that we do. Proverbs 13:20 says, walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm. So the question is, are you walking with the wise? Are you becoming wiser and wiser each and every day? Because if you become wise, then guess what? You start to open your eyes to the things that you need to do on a whole. Things become not only about you, but it becomes about enriching other people. Are you enriching other people with your wisdom, or are fools your companion? Right? Or fools your companion. So that's something we need to definitely check there. But guys, let me give you a little bit of background of who I am before I get into financial wisdom with Shiloh. My name is Shalonda Claiborne, and yes, I do go by Shiloh. I've been in entertainment for about almost 10 years. Yeah, about 10 years now. And before I got into the financial industry, I was in entertainment. I did radio for 9 years on gospelradionation.com, also KYOK, right here in Houston, Texas. And I really love just being able to encourage, inspire, and ignite the fire inside of others through the word of God. So that is what I get to do. But guys, something happened and changed the trajectory of my life. And that was the pandemic. See, before the pandemic, I was able to act and host gigs and just really use my creative abilities to do the things that I love to do on the stage. But when the pandemic happened, all those things went away. So wisdom came in and said, you have to change the trajectory of what you're doing. See, many a times we don't move forward, right? Because we're stuck believing that we have to stay where we are. But guys, don't you know that there's so many incredible opportunities out there that God wants us to actually put our hands to, but because of fear and because of doubt and because of lack, guess what? We don't move into those arenas. And so when the pandemic came, they told us that we were going to die if we went outside. Did they tell y'all that? They told me that. I don't know. I was watching too much TV. But they said that we was going to die if we went outside, right? So we had to do what? Get creative of how we made money. We couldn't just sit on our hands, right? We had to start using our minds. And so the financial industry was introduced to me because, guys, guess what? I was not ready for a pandemic. Were you ready for a pandemic? Did you have your financial house structured to where when the pandemic came, you wasn't stalking the government for those stimmy checks? I was stalking the government for the stimmy checks. Am I the only one? Because even as an entrepreneur, money just doesn't come in. You got to go out and make the money, right? And so when that source of income was shut down, guess what? We had to get creative on how to make money. So God blessed me with this opportunity to not only learn about money, guys, but to get licensed. And to not only that, to help others just like you to make sure that we're doing the things that we need to do. So that is where financial wisdom comes in, because guess what? I've been studying to show myself approved so I can sit in front of audiences just like this to be able to and educate you so that you can make more informed decisions. And so, Furman, I want to just go ahead and kick it back over to you. If you want to ask me any questions before we get into the topic of the day, which is inheritance.
Oh yeah, I mean, like I said, I appreciate you, and like I said, I know this is a time where everyone is really just opening up now, learning more, gaining more. We know Scripture said, "With my people destroy for lack of knowledge, because they rejected it." But we know we're in a generation now where individuals, I'm not saying everybody, but individuals are gaining more wisdom, gaining more knowledge. I love Solomon's prayer when Solomon prayed unto the Lord and he asked for understanding, yes, for wisdom, understanding. God honored that prayer. That shows me that God honors prayers that's needed. You know, he didn't ask for long life. He didn't ask for riches. He asked for what he needed. Mm-hmm. According to Scripture, Paul said, God should supply all your needs according to his riches and glory. So we know that he meets needs. You know, a lot of people so focused on I want God to give me desires of my heart. But what about getting to what we need? Like Solomon. Solomon knew what he needed, and God honored that. So I'm glad now that we're getting an understanding of what we need, and we're really being on my spirit as of late is being prepared. You know, and I had this big shout out to Maria. We had a get together over coffee and stuff like that, and it made me think about when the Scripture says, "Have you considered the ant, you slugger?" In Proverbs, what does an ant do? An ant operate in what it's supposed to do, and that ant don't have no guide, no overseer, no ruler at all. The ant is already purposed to do what it's supposed to do. What an ant does, an ant stores up. An ant is always, thank you. The ant is always prepared ahead of time. So why it's summertime and springtime, the ant is working because we know winter is coming. So when winter was hit, the ant was already equipped for what it was needed. It didn't work to the last minute because a lot of times we do stuff at the last minute. And then we get out. That's where all that anxiety come from, all that panic can come from. And you got to think about it. We have them deadlines coming up. Okay, if you are an employer or if you're in whatever, they give you a deadline months in advance.
Mm-hmm.
They tell you, hey, this needs to be done within a certain time. So they give you that time frame. Okay, you know what? I need to get this stuff done. What we do? We play around. We take it lightly. So as soon as that deadline come in, we panicking, we worrying. That's the same way I believe, Charlotte, when it comes to our saving, when it comes to managing our funds, we want to lollygag, we want to play around. I want to buy this, buy that. But then soon something hit, whether it's a medical expense, auto expense, we running around. Or someone may get laid off of their job. We running around like that chicken with a head. I just want to implement that. What do you say about that?
No, you are absolutely right, Furman. It's like we have a false sense of tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right? You know, we put off to what we can do today for tomorrow. So many times, you know, I'll talk to people. I had someone tell me, I said, so do you have your life insurance in place? And, you know, they told me, oh, I'll get it. I don't need it right now. Or I'll talk to you when I need it. Hello? Because you have a false sense of tomorrow. You have, for some reason, you have put in your brain that you're going to be here tomorrow. Right? And so it's so important that we understand that we can't just, like you said, procrastinate. We can't just put things off for tomorrow, what we need to do today. But what I wanted to talk to you about today was inheritance. Right? Because if we look at inheritance differently, then we would do what? We would prepare better.
Right.
If we looked at inheritance and what it truly meant, then we would take some accountability for what we do today. For example, what is inheritance, right? Because, you know, we always want to say, that, we were supposed to leave an inheritance for our children's children, right? But what is an inheritance? Well, an inheritance, let's break it down to layman's terms. Any money or property you receive after the death of a friend or relative. It's money or property. So the question is, if you're going to leave an inheritance for your children's children, what property are you leaving for your children's children? What money are you leaving for your children's children? See, one thing I know about people is that we heal pretty quickly. I heard something the other day. It said, an emotional hurt, it only lasts for 12 minutes. After the 12 minutes, it's self-inflicted. So that tells me that once your family member is over the loss of you, then you're forgotten about, unless you left what? An inheritance of money or property. I'm sorry, it's just the truth. You might not want to believe it, but it is, right? And then we talk about Proverbs 13:22, if you don't mind. A good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children, right? So that means an inheritance also is something that we build up, we work for. So our children, not only it can last through their lives, but last to our children's children. Isn't it amazing how most of us don't know who our great father is? We don't know, because guess what? There was no inheritance left for us to remember them by. My question is for your audience: will your family, your children's children remember your name? Because if you're not planning to leave them something, guess what? They're going to forget your name, right? It's so funny because today, if you followed my social media, I was able to go to the Buffalo Soldiers Museum. That's a museum here in Houston, Texas, and it talks about the Buffalo Soldiers, the black soldiers that fought for us and the wars and things of that nature. It's a beautiful museum. When I went there several years ago, I was like, oh wow, I really want to be able to do something for this museum to help it stay here. And they have these things called legacy bricks, right? And so to purchase or donate a legacy brick to this museum. And yes, it costs some money, but guess what? It's helped to keep that museum there. It's helped to keep our history relevant and alive. So you know what I said? I said, you know what? I'm going to make sure that I contribute so I can have a legacy brick, right? So that when Furman Jackson goes to Houston, Texas, and visits the museum of the Buffalo Soldiers, he will always be able to see Shalonda Claiborne's name. She was there, right? She contributed to the history of a thing. And so it's so interesting. Even if it's one brick, are you laying one brick at a time? Will somebody be able to go back and see that you were even here? Oh my God. There's so many people that are gone and we have no idea what they ever did because they didn't do anything. They didn't leave a brick. They didn't leave money. They didn't leave property. They left nothing but memories, some memories. And guess what? Maybe a lot of debt. See, we have to change the way we're doing things. We have to change the way we're doing things. But guess what? It's not only about the generational wealth that we need to leave, right? We're going to get into that a little bit more. But inheritance isn't limited to money. Come on, somebody. And inheritance also includes godly character, right? And godly qualities, integrity, trustworthiness, right? Goodliness. Are we leaving to our families the fruit of the spirit that God has put in us? I don't know. Do we take time to talk to our children, right, about how to be spiritually grounded, how to have with good character, how to be good stewards of our money? Do we talk about the things, right, that they will learn, that they will need when we're long gone? We get twisted when we think about inheritance. It's just about the money. No. It's about, are you leaving godly character in your family? Will they say, you know what? My mama taught me this. My auntie taught me that. My daddy said this would happen. Because you know what? Guess what? Well, again, walk with the wise and become wise. Are you a wise person that walks with your family and your friends? Are you a wise person that's leaving an inheritance? Do you give to your family? See, sometimes we don't even give to our family, the people that's in our house. And God even talks against that, right? He says, he speaks against it. He said, anyone who does not provide their relatives, come on, especially for their own household, has denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever. That's 1 Timothy 5:8. Y'all can go check it out, right? So anyone, if you are in your own house, and you're or even outside your house, your relatives and your friends, and if you're not giving godly wisdom, if you're not giving godly character, if they can't come to you for a dime, if they can't come to you for nothing, then hey, what are you really doing, right? You are worse than an unbeliever. Too many times in our community, oh my God, too many times in our community, it's all about me and my four and no more. Oh my God, I've had so many people tell me, Shy, my cousin, she's a really great business person, but she won't tell me. Or my aunt does this, my aunt does that, but they won't tell me how to get it done. Are you serious? You are worse than an unbeliever. So if you are, oh my God, I cannot even believe I'm going this deep. So if you are actually holding and hoarding your resources, whether it's money, whether it's knowledge, whether it's love, whether it's your joy, whether it's your insight, whether it's your whatever, if you are withholding something that is good for your family and for your relatives, you are worse than an unbeliever. And guess what? God is not in you. And I rebuke that spirit in the name of Jesus.
Hey, that's what it's all about. Before going any further, Charlotte, we'll do a quick commercial break and then we'll jump right back in financial wisdom with Charlotte. This is something that's implemented here on Walking This Way's Impact Was podcast, having that gumbo flavor. We do Q&A conversations, want to implement like finance. It was on my heart to fight Charlotte on here, to talk about that arena when it comes to just planning and preparing and things like that. Also, big shout out to Mr. U. He's going to be coming on week after this, I think, after I get my schedule. He's going to be talking about fashion, swagger, and all the other stuff. So we implement a lot of stuff here on the Walking This Way Impact Was podcast platforms. We're going to be right back after this commercial break. Then we're going to jump right back into financial wisdom with Charlotte. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen.
When the hotties wear their Nike by You shoes, I want them to feel like hotties. I want them to feel confident. I want them to feel like I'm really stepping right now. I got it on my feet. When coming up with the ideas and the names and the whole style of the Nike by You Air Max 97s by Megan Thee Stallion, I really wanted to just like kind of touch on all my different personas. I see myself styling my Nike by Yous, obviously with Hot Girl Systems, my collection. You gotta have it on your feet and on your booty meat, and it's just gonna be amazing. But yeah, all of these shoes are me. They're my children, my babies. And I'm giving it to the hotties.
Everybody, I see the intro video with Shiloh because it's financial wisdom here on Walking This Way Impact Wars podcast. You see, we're doing big things here on the platform. We're live streaming on all major platforms right now, ladies and gentlemen. We're live streaming on my personal page of Facebook. We're live streaming on the Walking This Ways Impact Wars Facebook page. We're live streaming on LinkedIn right now, YouTube, and X, formerly known as Twitter. So we are live streaming everywhere tonight. And of course, it's the new segment here on Walking His Ways Impact Wars podcast, and it's called Financial Wisdom with Charlotte. You've seen the intro video, so we're implementing things because, ladies and gentlemen, tonight, and I want to share this too, Charlotte, before going any further. I don't think people really caught before you came on, Kelly. She's the expert in grant writing. I don't think a lot of people really caught that. They've been praying for funding. A grant writer was on the platform tonight. I don't think did they catch it or they didn't catch it, but some of y'all been praying for the funding. And I believe that the answer was before you because Kelly is an expert in grant writing. And I just want to share that, Charlotte, before going any further, that tonight someone been praying, and I just believe that their prayers will answer tonight because she is an expert in grant writing. So if that was you that prayed and you got your answer came before you tonight. I just want to share that, Charlotte. So go ahead and continue with financial wisdom with Charlotte. So go ahead.
Yeah, you know what? And that was I'm so glad you brought up Miss Kelly, because you know what? The thing is, the Bible also tells us we should be doers of the word and not only hearers of the word, right? And too many times we will come to your podcast. You bring great professionals, great wisdom, great people with so many things that's going to take us to the next level. And we just look at it as entertainment, opposed to looking at it as a divine appointment at a divine time. See, we just let opportunities pass. You know, that's what poor is. Somebody write this down in the comments. Poor, passing over opportunity repeatedly. That is why we stay poor. P-O-O-R. Because we pass over opportunity repeatedly. Did we take down Kelly's information? Did we take down any nuggets that she gave us? Did we jot down any valuable information so we could go look it up ourselves, or so we can go research these things ourselves? Did you do anything that needed to be done to take your to go to the next level? Are you planning to go back and revisit it and look at it again and regurgitate the information? Oh my God, we are so quick. Things are just so fleeting. Like you just said, we are in an informational world. But because I'm going to keep going back, because for a companion of fools suffers harm, we have fools as companions. Because the question is, who's your circle? Is a circle around you if you want to write grants, and if you want businesses, and if you want to become an entrepreneur? Who are you surrounding yourself with? Right? Are you surrounding yourself with fools? Because if so, you're going to suffer some harm. Or are you putting yourself around wisdom so that you can become wise, so that you can become stronger, so that you can become knowledgeable, so that you can hashtag be a verb now, be the action you want to be the action you want to see? Because if you want to be a writer, you need to be writing your books. You need to be writing every day. You need to be writing a new chapter. You need to be learning more about literature. You need to be learning more about grammar. You need to be researching publishing companies. You need to be sketching out your book. You need to be sketching out your right? And I'm only going to talk about what I know. Because when I wanted to write this book, Scraping the Rails, Obedience Will Lead to Your Elevation, guess what? I had to get to writing. It wasn't going to write itself. But see, we got to believe in ourselves a bit more. The many reasons why you haven't written that song, you haven't gotten on that stage, you haven't gotten ordained, or you haven't opened up that business, or because you don't, guess what? You don't believe in yourself. That's what it is. You just simply don't believe in your capability, even though God said, my gifts will make room for you. See, guys, I went into entrepreneurship and became an actress and entertainer because I got tired of my job sucking away my years, sucking away my life, sucking away my time with my children. And I'm still just over broke. That's what a job is. J-O-B, just over broke. But guess what? They give us these salaries right? The salary, I read this somewhere too. The salary is the drug a job gives you to forget about your dreams. Because if you're on about the same, and I said, are you kidding me? God did not intend for us to make the same money, go to the same job, the same route, eat the same lunch, go to the same break, go to the same break room, go to the same parking space for 40 years of your life. But that's the life that we have settled for, right? Because guess what? We forgot that we're supposed to do what? Leave an inheritance for our children's children. We have now dumbed our lives down to a 40-hour week and say that's living, right? How is a 40-hour week going to actually provide an inheritance for your children's children? But that's what we do. Right? We say, well, this is it. This is all. No, some of you need to stretch yourselves. Some of you need to actually get out of your comfort zone and do some great things for your family. Because guess what? They're depending on you. Your family is depending on you to break generational curses. Your family is depending on you to do what? To actually build generational wealth, right? Because guess what? Proverbs 22:7 says, the rich rule over the poor, and the borrow is slave to the lender. God did not intend for us to be slaves. He did not intend for us to be borrowers, right? He intended us to be debt free. So, because if you're debt free, now you are free.
Right. Most definitely. Right there.
Bogged down with debt, and I think you were talking about this earlier, right? You were right on the same street as me. If you're bogged down with debt, if you're bogged down with lack, it's hard to think about anybody else. It's hard to think about your legacy. It's hard to think about, any new things, because you're so concerned, and now you're mad, you're sad, and everything else, right? Listen. We have to learn how to be happy with what we have. See, this is another reason why, people are depressed and they're sad and these things, because guess what? We have to learn how to be happy with what we have, and not only which provides a sense of peace, right? A peace of mind. When you're happy with what you have a peace of mind, right? But guess what? It's when we allow the drive for more to push us into depression and oppression, right? We want more, right? We want a bigger house. We want a better spouse. We want a dog instead of the mouse, right? Opposed to actually being okay with what we have, right? We always want the next thing. Because if you're not so eager to get to the next thing, then guess what? You'll be like, I'm good with my house. I'm good with my spouse, and I'm good with my mouse. Right? So now I don't have to, now anything that I make, I have these things straight. Now I can think about my child's house, my child's spouse, right? My child's mouse, right? Because again, we get so focused on what we need and not what the other people, oh my God, and what other people that's before us, that's after us need. If that makes sense.
That's it makes sense. Also, Charlotte, I wanted to comment. I had a conversation. Big shout out to Maria again. We had coffee and we had turkey croissant this morning at the Don Shop here in the DFW, and the conversation of Moses came up, and I had while you was talking, my beautiful sister, of course, I wanted to pull up about the rod, and I'm going to read this out of Exodus chapter 4. And I just pulled this up. I guess we have finance and we have Bible study tonight. So if you're tuning in with us right now, if y'all have any comments, just cross the screen. If you have any comments for Charlotte when it comes to your finances, feel free. We're all about learning. Jesus told Pharaoh, we must be born again. And I believe, Shai, that we are being born again. God is reviving us. And it is a revival taking place right now. And I'm not talking about a tent revival. I'm talking about the revival in here. We're coming alive now. God is elevating us. God is raising up his people. And I just want to read about Moses and the rod. Then Moses answered and said, but lo, they will not believe me, nor hearken unto my voice. For they will say, the Lord had not appeared unto thee. And the Lord said unto him, what is in thy hand? And he answered, a rod. Then he said he cast it on the ground. So he cast it on the ground and it turned into a serpent, and Moses fled from it. Again, the Lord said unto Moses, put forth thy hand. take it by the tail, and he put forth his hand, caught it, and it turned into a rod in his hand. Do this, that they may believe that the Lord God of their fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, had appeared unto thee. I just want to stop there. What is in your hand?
Mm-hmm.
What rod is in your hand?
Mm-hmm.
See, we forget about that rod.
Mm-hmm.
God asked Moses, what is in your hand? He said, a rod. Use it. So I'm saying tonight, those who listen to me and shout tonight, as we're live streaming from Dallas, Texas, Houston, Texas, on LinkedIn, on X, on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, what is the rod in your hand?
Mm-hmm.
My rod is Walking This Way Impact Plus podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going around, and people I ain't never seen before is reaching out. Man, I love your platform. Charlotte's rod is finances and many other businesses.
Mm-hmm.
What is your rod tonight?
Yeah.
We don't want to hear no excuses. God asked Moses, what is in your hand?
Mm-hmm.
What he said, a rod. What God told him, Shy?
Mm-hmm.
Use it.
Use it. Yes, absolutely.
Go ahead.
We have to use what we have. And you will be so surprised listen, you are a very unique person. I'm speaking to everyone that's listening to me right now. You are a very unique person. There is no duplication of you. You are an anomaly, right? You can braid hair like none other. You can draw like none other. You can encourage like none other. You can preach like none other. You can dissect the thing like none other. These are the things that our gifts will make room for us. I want some of you. But this is the thing, we forgot. You remember when we were growing up and we could run, or we could do, it was just a skill that we had.
Right.
You know, it was a skill that we had naturally. But because somebody told us we couldn't, somebody told us we wouldn't, somebody told us we shouldn't, someone said that we can't, guess what? We stopped believing in ourselves. So we put those gifts down. They became dormant. Now they just became like non-existent. You know, one thing about it is I love to dance, right? I've danced professionally, and I've taught dance, you know, mostly all of my adult life, a lot of my adult life. And I stopped dancing for some years. And I remember I told God, I said, God, reignite my desire to dance again. Right? And guess what? He did. And now sometimes you'll see me dancing on my platforms, because guess what? It's a gift that I have. It's something that I enjoy to do. So what is it that you do like nobody else, like nobody's business? That is what's in your hand. What do you do that I can't do? Guess what? That it needs to be put to the use for the kingdom of God. See, we have the tools. God equipped us with the tools that we needed. We forgot our purpose, or we have never delved into our purpose to even know, why do we even do that better than anybody else? Well, guess what? It's not for you. It's for him, them, and her, them, and they. It's for the people around you to be enriched, to be enlarged, guys. That is what we're supposed to do with the things in our hands. I was on a Bible study just the other morning, and the lady told us, that the woman of God said to go into get some jars, right? You know how jars symbolize, you know, what God tells you the women to put in, to fill up the jars. So she told us to go get jars, right, and put an empty jar in each room, and a drop of anointing oil, holy oil, in the jars, right, as a symbolization of what's coming in, right. And now I could have just sat there like, I ain't going to do that, but you know, I'm a woman of God. My spirit connected with her spirit, and again, I wrote a book, Obedience Will Lead to Elevation. So your obedience, even with speaking, listening to Kelly and Furman and things, and myself, if God is telling you to do something, your obedience in that thing will lead you to your elevation. So anyways, I said, you know what? I might have to go buy some jars. But guess what I did that morning? I went and looked through my house, and guess what? I had all the jars that I needed to fill for each and every room in my house. See, what you have is already in your hand. You remember when the ladies, when Elijah came and the lady and her son, and she only had some meal and she only had some oil, and she was going to make a cake for her and her son and die because she had no more. And then the man of God said, make me a cake first, right? See, we need to do something for somebody else first. And then guess what? She never had lack in her house because she put somebody else first. Oh my God. We can't wonder why we don't have. It's what are you giving? See, I believe the reason why God blesses me, because for 8 years when I was in radio, all I did was encourage, inspire, and ignite the fire inside of others through the word of God. I never went to secular music because I didn't want no parts of it. I'm like, God, if I'm here, I love you, I submit my life to you, that I'm going to give you to the people. I hardly made any money doing it, but guess what? Those are seeds, that kingdom seeds that I was sowing. And guess what? I'm going to reap a deluge of blessings from my Father. But see, this is the thing that takes me into our next scripture. Are you ready, or you need to take a break?
Go ahead. Well, no, wait. We want to go ahead, or we can take a break. It's on you. This is your segment. I'm riding shotgun with you.
You riding shotgun? Okay, we're gonna keep it moving then, right?
Well, go ahead and keep it moving then. Go ahead.
Matthew 6:20-21 says, but store up yourselves treasures in heaven, where moth and vermin do not destroy, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. See, Matthew, we learned that building a legacy here on earth is a big deal. Keeping your focus on heaven and living a life for God's glory is the ultimate long-term goal. Right? See, if we, listen to me, if we really build our treasures in heaven, if we really sought God and submitted our lives to God, and then we weren't so worried about our material things, we will want to leave it to somebody. Oh my God, help us, Jesus. We will want to leave it to our families. We will want to build it for our children's children, because we know we can't take it anyway. So why not leave it for somebody else? Why not make sure our family don't have to struggle, right? Because we already know that we have treasures in heaven. It's so important that we make sure that we don't lose our sight. Guys, we are spiritual beings in physical bodies. So we have to know that this is not the end for us, but what are we leaving here for our children's children? And then you want to say, Shiloh, but how do I leave an inheritance? I don't have any money. I don't have any property, right? Well, guys, listen, there's ways, in natural terms, the way you do that is you leave an inheritance with a life insurance policy, right? I don't even want to get into that right now, but that's how you leave an inheritance. You actually create an estate. When you create an estate, now you built an inheritance. But guys, the foundation of your financial house, and we'll be talking about this on other episodes. This is just an introductory, right? But we're going to talk about how to build your financial house. Because guys, there's ways you're supposed to build we always want to go buy a real house, right? We want to go buy a real house. We want to buy property. But guys, we have to build our financial house before we go buy natural houses. And if we're going to build a solid foundation for our families, our foundation is our life insurance. Our life insurance is an immediate inheritance for our families. Our life insurance is an immediate estate for our families. And you know what? If you can pay for Papados, you can pay for whatever the indulgences that you like, your life insurance should be an indulgence that you give your family.
And
Go ahead.
No, I want you to go ahead and finish, and I want to piggyback on what you were saying. So go ahead and finish, my beautiful sister. Go ahead and finish.
I love you. But life insurance, guys, is the most selfless thing that you can do for your family. It's the most selfless investment that you can make for your family. Isn't your family worth $25 a month, $50 a month, $70 a month? Isn't your family worth that? So that when anything ever happens to you, guess what? You leave them an inheritance so they can remember you, so you can leave your legacy. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. It makes sense. And also, I brought this is something to know anything about protecting our assets, Shiloh. When we get a certain amount, we know that we could be a target. When I say a target, you could be a payday for someone. That's something we never really talk about. Protecting our assets. You know, I didn't even think about the whole, everybody knows with Dak Prescott situation, he was accused of a sexual assault thing back in 2017. Girl came with all the allegations and wanted to sue for $100 million. And he's fighting it. But I just want to talk, implement that, protecting our assets. Because we know everybody wants to be financially stable and financially secure, and I'm all for that. But protecting our assets, because we know some people look for a big payday, because you got lazy people out there, you got slothful people out there, you got manipulators out there who always target you because of your financial stability. What you say about that also? I just want to throw that out there.
I mean, absolutely. You know, everybody looking for a payday, like you said. You know, there's professional like car wreckers. Like they go out and they literally like find ways to wreck so that you can wreck into them so they can get a payday.
Mm-hmm.
Like the scammers are out there, right? I didn't hear about Dak. You know, Dak's my boy. I didn't hear nothing about that. So that's crazy that we could come out years and years and years from behind. But guess what? Guess what Dak does? Dak has legal protection. Dak has lawyers that know his legal rights. How many of us have lawyers that when things like this happen, we have the power of the law behind us? See, if you don't know your legal rights, you don't have any. If you don't have legal protection, you are unprotected in that legal sense. So yeah, now you are vulnerable to what anybody wants to do. So that's another layer of protection, guys, is to make sure you have 24/7 legal protection, right? And so that's a simple sign up with a company like legal aid or prepaid legal, something like that provides 24 hours. Because guess what? If a lawyer, I'll tell you like this. Okay, so I'm an actress, right? I told you. And so I have legal protection. I have legal services. So I have lawyers on call, right?
Right.
And I had this show that I had to do, and the lady was a little slow with my money. Okay. And I had already gotten the contract and everything, whatever. The show was done and I still hadn't got paid. So you know what I did? I said, you know what? I'm not going to go back and forth with nobody. I got lawyers. So what I do, I called, I said, hey, can I get the copy of my contract so I can send to my lawyers? You know, I was paid very quickly, right? Because I had the confidence of knowing that I have legal protection. Okay. And and then guys, a will, let's talk about that. I mean, we're going way deeper than I wanted to in this first segment, honestly, but a will protect your assets, people. If you don't have your will in place that tells your family where your assets are, who you want to have them, who your beneficiaries are, who you want to have them, where you want your property, where your property is, where your money is, guys, if you don't have these things in place, guess what? You have no protection. And so it's so important that we know our legal rights. It's so important that we make sure we're doing what? Protecting ourselves at every single level.
Yeah, because that's really just on my heart and it's in my spirit. Being protected. And that's really just resonated with me because I don't know. I'm not gonna say I don't know, but when we start elevating, and I had a slogan a long time ago, new levels, new demons.
New levels, new devils.
Yeah, I had that a long time ago because when you go to another level, you always gonna have that thing lurking. And like I said, big payday. People gonna be looking for big paydays. I don't know why we're talking about this tonight, but individuals are always looking for a big payday. So you have to be mindful where you go, be mindful who you associate with, be mindful who you get into a relationship with. I don't know why we're talking about this tonight, Shiloh, but I guess it just need to be said tonight in the atmosphere. But protecting our assets. That's what I really want to ask you about that. Protecting our assets at all costs. Because we know that money is involved. And we know people always looking. Family members always looking. But just the protection side of things and what we need to do, how we need to go about it, and how we just need to protect ourselves because we don't want to be careless with this thing. The scripture says, Jesus said, be wise as the serpent, but be friendly as the dove. And you know, what do a snake do? A rattlesnake. A rattlesnake always gonna protect its surroundings. That rattlesnake gonna warn you, don't get close to me. If you get close to me, I'm gonna string you. But it's always wise though. Child, it's always why you said be wise as a serpent. A serpent is always wise. It's always know it's surrounded. It's gonna protect itself. But having that mentality of being wise, but at the same time being friendly as a dove. If that makes sense, I just want to add that just being wise when it comes to it.
Yeah. Knowledge is key, right? Knowledge is absolute key. And I always say when it comes to money, I always ask my clients and my new clients and my prospective clients, how do you win the money game if you don't know the money rules? See, if we are ignorant to the rules of how to protect our assets, how to grow our assets, how to, how to distribute our assets. If we are or contribute to our assets, if we are actually ignorant to that, how do we expect to grow? How do we expect to even leave that inheritance for our children's children if we're not even knowledgeable? And that's another reason why I'm so grateful for your platform, is because you have opened up the floodgates of knowledge, of information. And if your viewers are smart people, which I know that they are, they will take these nuggets that you are dropping, they will take these experts that you are bringing, and they will start adding these people, right, to their team. So you need to have a team. If you don't know it, make sure you're able to go get some. See, this pride thing keeps us messed up.
It does.
We're too prideful to ask, right? We're too prideful to ask. More people need my help than they'll ever say. My coach always say, people need your help. They're just scared to ask, right? People need to know, Shalonda, can I protect my family properly, right? Shalonda, can I get out of debt one day? Shalonda, can I earn more income? I need to earn more money. Or Shalonda, can I become financially independent one day? And what if Shalonda can give you a comprehensive plan on paper that shows you how to do that, absolutely complimentary? So now that you have a game plan, how many of you will actually do it? Right? But pride will keep us, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Because we say the first thing, and I use this now, and you hear me say it all the time too. AA meeting. I never been to an AA meeting. What's the first they teach you in AA? Admit you have
a problem. Yeah.
That's what we get our break. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead and finish. No, you go ahead and finish. You.
But no, like you said, that's the first thing. See, and when my coach came to my house, right? Listen to me well. When my financial coach came to my house with me and my husband, and he pretty much showed us our finances, I wanted him to leave, and I wanted him to leave right now. Because I did not need somebody coming to my house telling me how much money I didn't have, how far behind I was, how pretty much but guess what? I suffered for the lack of knowledge. I just did not know. And I was so upset that no one said of 18-year-old Shalonda, a 20-year-old Shalonda, a 25-year-old Shalonda, a 35-year-old Shalonda sat her down and said, this is how you protect your family sooner than later. So if anything ever happens to you, you're able to leave an immediate state for your family in the form of a life insurance policy. Right? This is how you pay yourself each and every month now, so that you will have money in an emergency fund, so you will have money in your retirement account, right? This is how you avoid credit card debt. This is how you pay your bills properly so that you don't have a mountain of debt. This is how you do some things, and this is how you become financially independent. If someone had sat down with me some years ago, oh my God, I would be in a better position. But even though they didn't, guess what? My job now is to equip you all, right? To make sure that the people that come into my life, that I'm able to equip them with these things so they can now be empowered. And so they can know they can have, guess what? Anything happens to them, they can have a legacy already set in place for their family. Their children and their children's children don't have to suffer like they did, right? If they can actually make sure that they can pay themselves and pay into funds for their children, their education, just, $25 a month, $50 a month, guys, a little bit goes a long way. We have to reprogram our minds, because guess what? You go to the dollar store, you go in there for $1, you come out spending 50 or 60 or 70. Anybody else done that but me? No. Okay, I'm the only one. So guess what? We are just sometimes not telling our money where to go. Our money tells us where it goes. But with the strategic plan, because guess what? If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the what?
The problem. Yeah, I said that right. The problem.
Yeah, you're part of the problem, right? And guess what? Most people don't most people don't plan to fail. Guys, we don't get out here in the world and plan to fail, right?
Right.
Guess what? We just fail to plan.
That's
and if
it.
we fail to plan, and then guess what now, Furman? We're in this rut. We're in this right now. We done got the loans. We done got the credit cards. We done got the big houses. We done got the big cars. We done got married. We done got these kids, and no one even taught us how to manage our debt, protect ourselves, make money properly, and grow our money. No one teaches us these things, and so that is why I'm so passionate to teach us the things that we just lack knowledge of when it comes to your finances.
Yeah, and that's what it is. I want to read this too. And we was talking about this last night on the show, and we was talking about the whole student loan thing. And I just pulled this up on Google. Can my Social Security be garnished for student loans? But there are some limitations and other perverts to know. For starters, the government can garnish up to 15% of your Social Security payments if you default the federal student loans. And the minimum it can leave you is $750 per month. What do you say about that, Shiloh?
Well, the question is, how well can you live off of $750 a month? If that's all the money in retirement that you have is your Social Security, and now because you did not manage your debt properly with the government when it comes to your student loans, and now they have the right to garnish up to 15% of your Social Security, right? Because it's theirs, right?
Right.
So now, how well do you live in retirement on $750?
Though they say it can leave you minimum. Then that's the minimum. It can leave you up to $750 per month. Yep.
Right. So the question is, how are you preparing? See, that's another thing we have to think about. Oh my gosh, and I know we're running out of time. I'm so glad because we have so much to cover during these segments, right? And we will get into these things. So, guys, I definitely want to make sure if you have questions about your financial strategy, if you want to learn more about the rules about money, if you want to know if you are on track for your retirement, or how can you establish an immediate estate, I would love for you to give me a call at 713-566-1228. You can call me or you can text me. Shy, can we set up a meeting? I have questions, right? Because guys, ask questions. Don't stop asking questions so you can grow and so you can know and so that you can do all the things that you need to do to make sure that you're protecting your family, you're protecting your assets, and that you are growing. But back to that retirement thing. Retirement is not an age, people, family. It's not an age. It's the lump sum of money, Furman, that you need to have when you retire. It's the lump sum of money that needs to be in your 401k that you're maximizing with your employer. It's for your Roth IRA that you're getting tax-free money on that you're maximizing every year. It's your emergency fund that you've been putting money in that's getting a high rate of return. It's for the money you've been squirreling away and saving and investing so that when you hit 65 or 67, whatever that age is, because there's going to be a point where the society is going to spit you out and they don't want you working no more. See what I'm saying? Right? And so the question.
Yeah, because I'm going to say, I think they finna jack up. Well, I think somebody trying to raise up the retirement age now. I think in the 70s, I think.
You know why? because we're living longer. And guess what? People aren't prepared to retire at 67. Remember, it was 65. I think it was 62 at one point. But people are living longer, and it's crazy. We're living longer, but we're not getting smarter.
Yeah.
We got to get smarter, and we have to start preparing best. But guess what? The life you have is a life you prepare for.
Right.
Or not.
That's true. Before going any further, I know we're pressed for time. We'll take a quick commercial break. And after that, Charlotte, I want you to bring, words of wisdom, things of that nature. We're going to jump right after our commercial break. We're going to jump right back into financial wisdom with Charlotte after this commercial break.
If you live for the applause, you're going to die by the bulls. I actually enjoy being in a position where I'm a bit of an underdog and I got to fight my way back up to the top. I love for you to say, oh, it's over. I love for you to say, oh, no, he ain't going to do it again. Oh, no, it can't happen. No, that right there is motivation, because that means I got someplace to go. I got some place to grow.
I got some place to go, and I got some place to grow. So that's what it's all about. Big shout out to Usher, love being an underdog. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's all about. So I know we're pressing for time, of course. We thank everybody for tuning in and hanging out with us. Like I said, this is a new segment that's implemented on the Walking This Way Impact Was podcast, and it's financial wisdom with Shiloh. So I hope what was said tonight was benefited. You have any questions, right? So if you have any questions, please drop your comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Or if you don't want to talk about it on the podcast, you want to reach out to Charlotte on the back end, go right ahead. We know that right there is a personal conversation. You want nobody to all keep stuff on the back end. But before you're ready to go, Charlotte, do you have any words of advice, any signs of wisdom on anything pertaining to life purposes?
Absolutely. First of all, again, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. And I know people are going to tune in later, and I really want you to take these words to heart. God wants us to, number one, seek him first, right? And his righteousness. And then the desires of our hearts he shall give us. And so if you desire to leave a legacy for your family, to leave an inheritance for your family, to leave money or property for your family, it's going to take a strategy. It's going to take a comprehensive plan to learn how to save money, to learn how to manage your money, to learn how to protect your money. It's going to take a strategic plan. I would love to offer you that strategic plan, absolutely complimentary. You keep your checkbook at home, because guess what? I get fulfillment at teaching you the rules about money so you can make a more informed decision about how to handle these things. Because guess one thing I know about Furman? Ain't nobody coming to our house with an S on our chest to save us. No. There's nobody's going to have these serious conversations with you. So sometimes, when things like this come up, guess what? You got to take that next step. You got to be a person of action. Only you know what you know. But what if I can help you learn a bit more so you can grow those areas, and so you can be empowered in those areas, so you can be encouraged? And guess what? You may be doing a lot better than you really think. But what if we can even do better than that? Right. And so we'll be coming on financial wisdom with Shiloh every other Wednesday, every other Wednesday. And guys, I want you to bring your questions. Okay, this can definitely be, like you said, a Q&A. Don't be shy. I'm shy. You don't have to be shy. I'm shy, right? You can be out there and you can really, really get the education that you need. I do have a lot of information, and I'm just not greedy with it. We don't need to be greedy with our information. Selfish. Right. With our information, right?
Right. And I thank God for you for receiving the invite. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being obedient, but I appreciate you accepting the invite to come on and do a segment on financial wisdom with you, of course. And like I said, big shout out to Miss You for coming on board to talk about fashion. And it's something I always envision for the platform, is even though we talk scriptures and we have interview, but we want to get to the responsibility part. Have your money right and also have your clothes on point, especially to the fellas, the ladies, having your confidence, having that swag. So we're looking for more of that here on the platform. This is not just a podcast, this is a ministry of sort. that it's reaching many, many people around the world as we speak. So I'm very excited. Thank you, Shy, for coming on board doing financial wisdom. It's going to be every other Wednesday, however the Lord permit.
Yeah.
However you want to do it, that's how we're going to go with it. So we're looking for more of that. It's just on the beginning. But like I said, if you have any questions, any comments, go right ahead. If you have any, because I know finance is a personal thing, of course, we know that.
Mm-hmm.
So you have any personal questions to Shiloh, she will answer your questions. I'm not in my arena, but her arena. So that's why I brought her on. So feel free to ask questions and things of that. But also, Shiloh, how can the individuals follow you? I know you're very active, of course. So how can the listening audience follow you? Because I know some will be following you eventually.
Am I active? Am I active? So I'm pretty active. So guys, yes, again, my name is Shalonda Claiborne, and you can definitely follow me there. I do a lot of things on my Facebook page. I just put my name there. And because you know what, I know some people like put stuff here, put stuff there. I am my content.
Oh, yeah.
I am my content, right? And so on my page, you're going to be encouraged, inspired, and ignited by the things that I talk about, not only by the love of God, but also too, guys, I'm going to encourage you, how to even have your mental health together, how to have your spiritual life together. But guess what? How to have your financial house. And that's what we're going to be doing. I'm going to be teaching you how to build your financial house from the ground up. There's some steps that we have to make. And if you would like to get your complimentary financial needs analysis, my phone number is in the chat again. And also too, you can always inbox me personally on Facebook. And I will also drop my email so that you can have all of my information, because it's so important that that we connect and I help you where you need it the most.
Oh, yeah. And I appreciate you. Like I said, we're very excited on what's going on here in the Walking This Way Impact Wars podcast. I'm looking for implementing some more stuff, Shiloh. You release some stuff in the bag. But hey, I encourage the listening audience, listen to me good. We're going to be talking about the laws of human nature here on the podcast. I have the book in my library. So those who listening, I don't know where we going here. But this is a whole makeover. We're being making over spiritually, financially. So I encourage everybody, get the book of the laws of human nature. This is something we're going to be talking about here on the podcast very, very soon. We're going to get into some more in-depth Bible study, of course, very, very soon. We're going to get into some knowledge and understanding. All that stuff is coming here on the podcast.
This is a whole... Awesome.
Go ahead, Charlotte, what you saying?
No, I mean, Furman, I don't know if you really know how awesome you are. I really don't, but I'm gonna tell you guys, you are pretty spectacular. And ever since that I've been following you, I can just the influence that you have is just really special. And I think you need to know that. I think you need to know that you are a giant. And I want you to realize that there's so many great things that's coming your way because you are obedient. Again, your obedience has led to your elevation. It's not what you know. It's not who you know. It's not that and that. Your obedience to launching this platform, not being unashamed of blessing the Lord, and sharing your platform. God is blessing you big time, brother. Big time.
And I appreciate that. He blessing all of us. Are you writing a book soon?
I wrote my book.
You already wrote your book?
Yeah, my book is right here.
Okay. You doing an ebook too? You already got one available right now?
We're going to work on that.
Okay. All that stuff is coming. But like I said, we're going to be getting into some in-depth stuff. Man, we got some amazing guests coming here on the platform. I'm very excited. We have she used to be in adult film industry, Naomi Banks. She's coming on our platform as well. She don't does that anymore, but she's into self-help, life coaching. I reached out to her on Instagram. We connected. So she's well known in adult industry. So Shiloh, we get transparency now where people from different walks of life are coming into the platform, sharing their stories, inspiring people. It's all about taking off. I hear people say transparency, but it's all about deliverance now, ladies and gentlemen. It's all about being delivered. Scripture tells us in the book of James, confess your faults one to another. that you may then pray that you may be what? Healed.
Yeah. Transparency. Put it out there, right? It's okay. There's no judgment, right? And who cares anyway? Because we all have our stuff,
Right.
right? And we all have our stuff, and you don't have to do this walk alone.
No, you don't. You don't.
Put yourself around people that's going to love you, that's going to support you, and that wants the best for you, to not only tolerate you and definitely not co-sign for the things you should not be doing, right? Yeah, it's time to be accountable. It's time for us to hold ourselves accountable to another standard. And we'll talk about that when it comes to clothes and going out in lingerie in the store and all that stuff. We'll talk about that, all that stuff,
Yeah, because like I said,
there's so much.
Yeah, it is. Because like I said, even to the point where, and like I said, we're adults here. You know what I'm saying? No, we're adults here. We're very mature. You to the point now, child, when you elevate, you elevate your underwear. I'm just saying that. It's just so much. Like today, I used to go buy water from big shop to the Kroger's, but I went and bought my water from the vitamin shop. Who used to tease me at work all the time? They said, just be drinking that rich people water. Hey, vitamin shop. Hey, I don't care. I'm having fun. I thank God for it. So it's all about elevating. And I ask this question too, especially when it comes to our nightwear. Fellas, upgrade your nightwear. You know what I'm saying? And Macy Play, they sell nice pajamas for the fellas. No, we're gonna talk about all that stuff on the platform soon, man. It's all about having fun, living your best life, but have fun and all the other great stuff. I'm very excited for the guests that we got coming up here soon. Right now, we're working on the April calendar right now, so we got some guests coming in. We got financial wisdom with Shiloh as well every other week, of course. I had a little visit. We got the fashion thing with Mr. U. Big shout out to Mr. U. Today's his birthday. He turned 39 years old. Shout out to him. One more year and you be 40. So you be in the welcome to the club. And I know my birthday is next month. On April 23rd, I'll be 42 years old. So I'm very thankful, very excited what God is doing, Shiloh. Just the whole mission on what he's doing. You look
great for 42. You don't look like 42. I know
women look great
people always say that about women, right? But for you, you're doing your thing, sir.
I appreciate it. But you look great for your age too as well. You look great. I'm not gonna say your age, but you look great for your age as well. You take care of yourself. So that's always a great thing. Women don't like you. Say I don't want to say their age, but you look great for your age, believe it like that. But like I said, it's always a great thing, having fun, enjoying life. I'm looking forward to having married couples on this show as well. Married couples love to get their husband and wives together and what makes their marriage successful. People need to hear that. We hear a lot of times people always looking like they think marriage is a bad thing. And no, it's people who are making a marriage work. The scriptures tells us, and we should base it off the scripture. How can the two walk together except they agree?
Yeah, you got to agree. You got to be in unity. And guess what? That's really important too when it comes to your money. Your money probably funny because you're not agreeing and you're not on one accord with your spouse. That's a whole other conversation, right? More things that, we have to cover and be transparent with, like you said. Yeah. And ask for help. It's okay.
Yeah, ask for help. Another thing we want to implement too. Why are we talking about this tonight? But we're really getting into some nitty-gritty stuff. Make sure your house and clean house cleaned up. Make sure your spiritual, your physical house cleaned up as well. If you don't have, this is what I did, and I'm not ashamed to say it. I actually had a house cleaner come clean up my townhouse, and they did a great job. I said, you know what? Every month I'm gonna have them come and clean up my place. When you kingdom minded, you got to think about all this stuff. So make sure your house clean, make sure your bathroom clean, your kitchen is clean. Yeah, exactly. Especially if you like, they always say that too. When you're like, I'm talking about this, and I know we got to go, but when interviews come to your house, the first thing they look at is your kitchen, I think, and your bathroom. So make sure your place is clean, smelling good, it's not funky. Start with a little simple thing. Make sure you make your bed up. We forget about the little stuff. Man, if they go, hey, also, man, get you a dentist. I don't know what I'm talking about tonight. Get you a dentist. Get your teeth and stuff clean. Take care of yourself, ladies and gentlemen. If you got a doctor, go to the doctor. Get checked out. This stuff is very, very important. Stop taking stuff so lightly. We need to stop living reckless It's time for us to be responsible in every area of life. And what you want to say about this before we go?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Being preventative opposed to you got to be preventative before we have to do some drastic things to reverse things or try to maintain something. We need to be preventative, like you just said. And guys, you matter. You gotta matter. You gotta matter. It's not just about getting up, going to work, coming home, going to sleep, going out for a day, or it's life is so much more than that. And you're going to feel so much better when your finances are healthy, so much better when your lifestyle is healthy, so much better when your relationships are healthy, so much better when your spiritual life is healthy. But it's going to take you to do the work that needs to be done and ask for help, but really commit to yourself to making the changes that's needed. Thanks, Furman.
Hey, oh, you're welcome. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be implementing more stuff here on the platform of Walking This Way Impact. This is not a podcast. This is a life-changing podcast where we're talking about everything from spiritual, finances. You might implement, matter of fact, we're going to implement health as well. So I'm putting out in the atmosphere that Charlotte will have a fitness expert to come on the show to teach us how to be more healthy, break everything down. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna give you scripture on this as well. The Bible said, "Beloved, which above all things you may is prosper in your health, as well as your soul prosper." So it's the will of God for us to be healthy, especially when you're on your purpose and you're in your life assignment. Part of your life assignment is to be healthy. So we're gonna implement more of that as well. So we're gonna do a lot of great things here on the show. So we're gonna have a great time. Of course, like health as well. So we about y'all to have a great time. I'm gonna let y'all go. I'll be back here Saturday morning at 10 a.m. here on Walking This Way Impact Wars Podcast for another great episode. Keep following up with us. Holler at us. Reach out to us. We're on something bigger than us right now.
Amen.
And we're just gonna hold on to the ride. We're gonna buckle down. We're just gonna enjoy this ride, and we're gonna ride it out. Also, sports. We will implement sports as well. So we know football is becoming upon us. So we'll implement more sports. Probably even have somebody do sports as well on the show. We're gonna have a good time on the show. Entertainment. We're gonna have a good time on the show because this thing is elevating to where it need to be at. To the end, ladies and gentlemen, I'm signing off from the DFW. Of course, you got Charlotte in Houston. So we'll see y'all next time here on Walking This Way Impact Wars Podcast. You got anything you want to say, sister, before we go?
No, we are out. Thank you so much, Furman.
Peace.